You can also, you can talk to me about anything you want.
We're keeping that in.
Two.
Welcome back to the Gentleman's Dojo.
Here we are, back again.
To my left,
Comedian Gary Cannon. To my right,
Steve Byrne, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
yeah.
And in the middle, joining us today from San Diego, you know him, you love him, Mad TV. He plays characters with Down syndrome on the league.
Thank you.
He was 1/4, 25% of a touring company known as the Kims of Comedy. My hero. Bobby Lee, everybody.
In studio, by the way.
Thanks for having me here, guys. I really appreciate it.
And he's got his own show here on All Things Comedy as well.
Yeah.
Thank you
Very
for the
excited.
plug. I really appreciate it.
So your podcast
is pretty good.
Yeah.
pretty good. But it's Tiger Belly, right?
Yeah, it's called Tiger Belly.
Now, how long you been doing it?
We're like 12, 13 episodes in. You know, my girlfriend had a podcast, and then she was just like, "You want to do it with me?" I go, "All right," and then we started doing it. It's fun.
So you do a podcast with your girlfriend?
Yes, in my condo, and it's just we do it at midnight. Tonight at midnight we'll start, and then we'll release it Wednesday.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What do you guys talk about on the podcast?
Debauchery, really. You know,
interesting.
I really talk about everything that all my problems and my sexual problems. I have a lot of sexual problems. And I do. I mean, the list goes on. And I have a lot of life problems, and we just talk about stuff like that. About my character defects, about, like, you know, what my goals are, how lazy I am. I talk about video games. I love video games. Just everything. But I'm an open book, right? So if you want to, hey, you know, you've had sex with prostitutes. I have.
You admit it.
I admit it.
Sure.
And there's nothing I can do.
Right.
It's the past, and I've done it, and that's something
Sure.
I did.
You're okay with it.
Yeah.
Why do you get high pitch?
Because people say, you know, my parents go, "Why you have to do that?" I go, I did it, Dad. You know what I mean? But don't do it. I go, I'm sorry.
Right.
But you've always been, ever since I've known you, I think that's why I love you.
Why?
As much as I do, as crazy as you are totally honest. You have always been an open book. You don't, like, a lot of guys would be like, if they slept with a prostitute, they would never bring that up to people. But you don't care.
No, I
right?
do care, and I think it's immoral.
But you don't care if people know. Like, you're very open in that regard.
You embrace.
I
your
did
past.
it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if it's something that I did, even though I'm embarrassed by it, it's like, you know, maybe if I expose the world to it, that maybe I'll stop my behavior. But I mean, I would just say this: I've never cheated on any girlfriend of mine. You know, I go crazy between relationships. I go hog wild.
Right.
Yeah, like I was in Thailand.
Oh boy.
And I was shooting this really bad movie with Michelle Yao from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Grown Ups 3?
No. Is she in that? No. Oh. And, you know, one night I had dinner with Michelle Yao and a couple of people, and I just realized there's no way that I'm going to be able to hang out with these people for 2 months. You know what I mean? Because she's an older, sophisticated, she's like the Meryl Streep of Asian actresses, you know?
Right. You don't want to hang out.
So I'm like, what do I do? And I just ended up going to a brothel every night. I took my per diem. I took a moped to this place called...
Your per diem.
Yeah, I did.
Right.
And to this place called Amsterdam. And I hung out there for 2 months. And then, you know, I admit it. And I feel
Do you
bad
not
about
get
it.
Bob,
worried,
who's handing-
though, like, going to a brothel, like, catching anything, or...
Nah.
Bobby.
No, I'll tell you why. I believe that Koreans are unbreakable.
Okay.
We're evolved.
What? From
Asian-
STDs?
I think I am. I think that's my power. If they did a movie, right?
Yeah.
That's my power.
That would be your
Maybe
mutant power would be
my
like...
nemesis would be Ebola. Maybe that's the thing that gets me. But like, if I was a superhero, that would be my power.
Well,
So somebody would be like, someone needs to have sex with Charlie Sheen
Yeah.
to infiltrate and get this information from me. You're like, I'll do it. I won't contract anything.
No.
I don't get
listen,
STDs.
Listen, guys.
Wait, what kind of per diem are you getting on this movie? I mean, are you getting...
Well, you're getting like $75
So is that a
a
good...
day, but for them, that's like $1 million. Yeah.
Right. So you're taking the money that you should be using for, like, sundries, and you're spending it on sex.
Yeah, but that was years ago, guys.
Yeah.
That's in the past.
Yeah,
And
you wanna-
I'm in a relationship, and
How's your relationship now?
amazing. Like, it's probably the best relationship I've ever been in.
How long
bar
have you been
none.
dating?
2.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you foresee you walking down the aisle? Or
Yes.
Oh, you do?
It's the first time I've ever said, like, I'm going to probably marry her, and then number 2, I'm probably going to have children with her.
Oh, wow.
Big
This
statement.
is quite a change.
Yeah,
from
I've never said that before in my
the
life.
Bobby Lee I know.
Yeah.
Because you used to say, I'm gonna die alone.
Yeah, I mean, that is a fantasy. You know what I mean?
What?
Yeah, I like being 70 and then finding my skeleton with like an Xbox 360 controller in my hand. Like, what happened? He was playing Fallout 9, you know what I mean? Los Angeles.
You are a
Sonic
huge
the
gamer,
Hedgehog.
but you were telling me the other day, you and Eric Griffin from Workaholics
Yeah.
and your brother, I think, play Destiny together.
Yeah.
And you were telling me it logs your hours. How many hours did you log into that game?
1,400.
1,400. Dude,
Something like that.
you could have learned to play the guitar.
I know.
It's 10,000 to become an expert.
I know how to play the guitar.
Come on.
I do.
Guitar Hero.
Yeah, that. No, no.
That's what it is.
I can play a little guitar. I can play a little piano. I'm fine.
This is this thing that I think would shock a lot of people that I know about Bobby. Bobby Lee, you look at it, just Google a picture of Bobby Lee, and then that guy played hockey. You played ice hockey.
Yeah.
Growing up in San Diego, which is crazy.
No, I grew up in Minnesota as a kid.
Oh,
right?
okay,
So when
okay.
I was a kid, that's what you did
Yeah.
in Minnesota. And then when I was 12, we moved to San Diego, and I played for 2 years in San Diego. And
Yeah,
then
you
I
wouldn't
quit.
expect somebody to play down there. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but it was the San Diego Chickens. It's a real team. And
Yeah.
my brother and I both played. Yeah.
That's great.
But
I-
you describe yourself as lazy, though? I mean, is that like you kind of feel like you're just kind of like.
I'm the most laziest person on
Really?
planet
He
Earth,
is.
I think. I really believe that.
Really?
Yeah. And
He
I'm not,
is.
it's not a joke. I
But
really,
you have a great career, though. How could
it's
that
not.
be?
It's not. It's
He
debauchery.
could be.
Actual debauchery.
He could be huge.
I could be huge.
Right.
But
If
I'll,
you.
I'll give you an example. So we're doing the Kims of Comedy.
Right.
Okay? We just filmed the DVD. It's Bobby, Ken Jeong, Kevin Shea, myself.
Right.
We're doing a show in San Francisco. The shows are sold out. We got to go down there. And this is at a time when, this is like 10 years ago, Ken is not Ken Jeong.
Right.
I haven't done anything. I haven't even had a Comedy Central special. Bobby's on Mad TV. Mad TV is pretty darn popular. It's on Comedy Central. Bobby, you walk anywhere with Bobby, people know him. They want to get a picture with him. He was, you still are very popular.
Keep talking. I'm listening to
But-
everything you're saying.
But at that time, we needed Bobby to be there.
Right.
He's the show. That's the reason people are coming to see him.
Right.
So it's the day before the show, and I call Bobby and I go, "Hey, are you excited about San Francisco?" He's like, "What are you talking about?" I go, "Dude, we have a show in San Francisco this weekend. All of us." He goes, "Oh, we do? How am I going to get there?" I go, "Dude, you didn't get a ticket?" He goes, "No, I had to cancel my airline ticket, go over," and I called Ken. I was like, "You won't believe this. Bobby doesn't have a ticket." Ken's like, "Make sure he gets there." I was like, "Okay." So I canceled my flight, drove over. That was the only, and I had to literally get him in my car to drive him to San Francisco to make sure that he got there.
Let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question?
You just did.
Okay. Did I end up showing up to the gig?
Yes. Because
Enough-
I brought you there.
Enough said.
Oh, you want to know what happened when we were driving down there, though?
What?
So Bobby's sleeping, right? I'm driving.
Well, just tell me the
And
story
then I
before
hear-
you say it out loud. Oh, no, I didn't do that.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Why would I do that? No.
And I look over, and Bobby goes, "Dude, you know this is true." Bobby goes, "Keep driving."
Yeah, but
And I'm like, "What?"
No.
He goes, "Keep driving." You were totally joking. You were
I-
fucking around
okay,
with me, but
listen to me, okay?
you started
I know, all
whacking
right.
off in front of me.
Okay.
No, what do you mean? Okay, is that on the podcast?
My bad.
My bad. So then
Oh.
I'm so disgusted
Oh,
at
my
it.
God.
I'm like, we don't talk for like an hour or two. I'm like, it's not funny. And Bobby's laughing. So we go do the first show the first night. And we're in San Francisco at the Punchline, okay? I finish my set. I walk into the green room. The door shuts behind me. Nobody's in the green room. But I walk in and the door like slams shut and I turn around and Bobby's in the corner butt naked. He goes, "Hi." I was like, "What are you doing?" And he
the
locked
Korean
the
hello.
door. The Korean hello.
Oh,
Have
my
you always
God.
been comfortable naked?
Yeah. Let me just say this, okay? I want to defend myself. All right. I used to do things like that to shock comics and just to have.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I want to control a situation, and that's how I do it.
Right.
Steve Trevino, who's a comic.
Yes.
I was in Houston. I'd never met him before. He picked me up from the airport. He was living in Texas at the time, and this is like 15 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And he kicked me out of the car on the freeway. All right?
Why did you?
Because I was masturbating in the back. I didn't know him though, right?
Now, when you're doing that, are you like goofing off? Or you
Yeah,
like?
I'm laughing. I'm giggling. It's fun.
It is.
Crazy.
Yeah. I call it funsies.
Funsies.
And he literally goes, "Bro, get out." On the side of a freeway, right? And he drove away.
You know what? You know, like if you watch Tommy Boy, and there's that thing where Chris Farley goes, "Tommy want wingy." Like to this day, that will make me laugh. It fucking makes me laugh so
But wait,
hard.
are you full on going at it, or there's
No,
like
I'm
this
not erect.
innuendo
Number
of-
one, I'm not erect.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Number two,
Steve, I think he's doing it right now.
I'm not doing it right. Number two, it's just a joke. And also, can I just say this? Over the last 5 probably years, I don't do stuff like that anymore.
Yeah, you really have toned it down because you were.
Yeah, I was crazy.
You were. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you still are crazy, but like it's always been in a good way. Can you tell everybody how you almost got fired from Mad TV?
Well, I did get fired. And then they rehired me. You mean the shitting my pants?
No.
Oh.
What? What? No.
What?
You didn't tell me that
What
part.
are you talking about?
Where the new girl got hired.
Oh, that wasn't. I got sued, but I didn't get. I almost got sued, but I didn't get fired.
No, the president of the network had to call. What happened? So this is like an example. Like Bobby tells you the story. It's like, holy shit, that's crazy. But like to you, that was just another Tuesday at that time.
Yeah, I mean, I got in trouble though.
So what did you do at Mad
All right,
TV?
well,
This new girl gets hired.
One morning, you were on a show, and sometimes you have rehearsals early in the morning.
Yeah,
Gary,
well, yours
yeah.
is popular though, Bobby. Yours
I
is
like
a
this
comedy.
show.
Here's the one.
There
Guys.
we go.
I would love to be on it, but
Here we go.
I want to talk about that later. Anyway, so one morning I show up to rehearsals and there's a girl sitting on the couch in the rehearsal room. I had no idea who she is, right?
Okay.
But she's eating yogurt, and I was so tired, and so I sometimes when I'm tired I make wrong decisions, and I grabbed the back of her head and I farted in her face.
Jesus Christ!
While she was
Bobby.
eating, her mouth was open because she was eating yogurt. And usually people
that's
go,
so
"What are you?"
gross.
So usually people go, "What are you doing?" or whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's not what her reaction. She cried, right?
She started crying.
What tears were? I don't know. When tears come out of the face, that's crying, right?
Right?
Yeah, right. So I go, "Whoa," because I've never had that reaction before.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, "Why did you do that?" Whatever. And then Mike McDonald and Ron Peterson approached me, and then Ron started pushing me. And then Mike had to take Ron Peterson and put him in a headlock and bring him back. It was chaotic. But then, I looked at the girl and I go, "I'm sorry." And then like hours
sounded
later,
sincere,
I took
yeah.
a nap and I woke up and everyone called.
Yeah.
It was like, you got to call us. You might have to get a lawyer. You're in fucking big trouble.
Who was the girl? I mean, not that.
She's one of my best friends now, Krista Flanagan. In fact, you look at my Instagram. I just saw her a week ago and I have a photo with her.
Wow.
My latest post was with Krista, but she later did Mad Men. I mean, she's a very talented girl, and she's one of my best friends. And I've told this story on Comedy Central before.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not something that's I'm hiding or
Right.
You know.
It's just that she can't enjoy yogurt anymore.
yeah, she hates yogurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
One of my favorite stories that you've ever told me. Could you tell us about I think it was like
It depends. Go ahead.
the daytime Emmy one with
I don't want
want
to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that
Dude,
one.
really?
I don't want to talk about
That's
that.
my. There's nothing
I
bad
can't-
in that.
We'll talk about it later.
There's nothing bad in that.
Maybe if I come back the next time.
There won't be a next time.
Why? You don't want me back?
Well, I know. I'm just.
Rude.
You won't talk about that?
No, maybe next time.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
I have a million other stories, but can we talk about us? And where we're going as a family?
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about your experience as a Kim of Comedy, and why do you think the Kims of Comedy never worked out? Because at the time it was Latin Kings of Comedy,
Sure.
Kings of Comedy, and then Barry Katz and New Wave filmed the Kims of Comedy.
Yeah.
What happened with that?
I think that, and this is something that people are probably going to hate what I say, but it's like, I think that specific Asians, we were a specifically Korean show, and I don't know if that is something that Filipinos want to watch. Right. So I feel like if you see a black night, you know what I mean, like an African American comedy
Right.
show, African Americans will come out and support it, right? You know, one African's going to be like, "Hey, I'm from South Africa and he's from Uganda, so we can't see the show."
Right.
But for some reason, Asians are the division is there. You know what I mean? The cultural divisions and whatever.
Right.
So it's like it just wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
We would do shows. San Francisco, yes, we would do well. But then we did the Wiltern, and we ate it.
Yeah, in Koreatown.
In Koreatown.
Wow.
Yeah, you would assume that our own people would come and support us.
And when you say ate it, how many
And
people are there?
Nobody.
Came and supported.
Really?
We're in the Wilton Theater, and like Live Nation just bet on us. They're like, oh, this is going to do great. We'll put in Koreatown.
They had a second show.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing.
We went there. My parents flew in.
Yeah, it was
Really?
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
embarrassing.
They were asking the ushers to sit in the chairs.
No Korean showed up.
Yeah, no Korean showed up, and I think if we did it now, it would
Now
be a
we
sellout.
could- yeah.
Yeah, but I think then, no. And it was really upsetting. I remember it being upsetting, you know.
How long did that tour last that all of you guys went on?
We did a handful of
handful,
dates.
yeah.
That was it?
Yeah.
We did Hawaii, that was fun. We did San Francisco, we did LA, and that's pretty much all I
Yeah, I think we did
yeah.
San Francisco like twice. And then
Yeah.
that's my
Well,
one of my favorite stories.
the last San Francisco one was really bad.
We did this. Okay, so Bobby and Ken have always had this
I love him.
brotherly kind of affection for each other.
Love
And-
him.
And at some point, I think Ken had developed some sense of a rivalry with Bobby, whereas Bobby was on Mad and all this stuff, and then Ken became like the Asian Samuel Jackson, where for a moment in time, he's in like everything. You could go to a movie theater over the summer, and if he wasn't in the movie, he was in 2 trailers. It was crazy.
He was a Pepto-Bismol commercial and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do the show in San Francisco, and Bobby's not on it, but then Bobby flies down to come and apologize
No.
to Ken.
No, okay, here's what happened. Okay? I'm just going to tell you what happened. Just look at me right now.
Okay,
all right?
what?
This is what happened. What happened is that when we were doing the Kims originally, right, I asked for more money, all right, and which gave, I don't know about Ken, but I know the other guy, he still resents me to this day.
Mm-hmm.
When that other guy had no credits, he doesn't have credits up to this point. He doesn't deserve the amount of money that I made on it. And it's like, you know, if we were to do it
Bobby
now,
was the draw, yeah.
if we were to do it now, I would even, if Ken wanted more money, I would go, yeah, he deserves more money. If you wanted more money, you deserve it. But at the time, they didn't, right?
Right.
So it's like there was resentments occurring.
You
know
were
what I
the
mean?
draw.
Yeah. And,
Sure,
and,
there's nothing wrong with that.
And then when we did, then they kicked me out of the tour. You did. And then.
Everything's
you did.
a blur.
You did. Because you were already booked there, right? And then what
Right.
you said, you wanted me back in.
I was always pushing.
Yeah,
for him to be in
Steve
it.
wanted me back in, and so Steve goes, "Hey, I'll secretly fly you to San Francisco, and you could just surprise us,
And just
then you'll
talk to
go
the
up-
guys,
and
and
you'll
let's
go
figure
up,
this out."
right?" I go, "Yeah, all right." So he flies me over there. I go in the green room, and they just didn't want me there.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, Ken really took exception to it, and then there was a moment where these two, it looked like they were going to fight.
fist fight.
Kevin
Oh.
Shea is tapping me on the shoulder because everybody's 5'5".
Yeah.
And I'm the only one that's like average. I'm 6 foot. So Kevin's like, you got to break this up. You got to break this up.
This
And
would have been between Bobby and Ken.
And Ken,
Yeah.
it,
Oh,
it
wow.
looked bad, and I was like,
It was ugly.
I was getting ready to start it, and then I stopped for a minute. I was like, this would be the cutest fight I've ever seen in my life.
It would be.
But then I broke it up, and then we've never done a show since.
So that
Never.
the Kims of Comedy went from 4 of you guys then to 3.
Yeah.
for
was
one
just-
weekend,
Oh.
because Ken had started kind of on his way up, and he said, "Hey, let's do something." So we did it, but there was the exception. We don't want Bobby, but I was always at the mindset. Look, it was the 4 of us starting. Let's figure this out. We're all we all started together, especially you, Ken, and I.
Yeah.
I mean, you were already on the. That's how I met you. You were on the Tonight Show, and I was in New York City as a New York comic, and I saw him on the Tonight Show do a set. He had just been cast in Mad TV, and he killed, absolutely killed. And I talked to my manager, Barry Katz, at the time. I go, I saw this Korean dude last night, Bobby Lee, on. He goes, oh, I know him. Gave me his number. I called him up, and I congratulated him.
When's in life? When does that ever happen? A comedian you've never met, right, from New York, calls you out of the blue just to say, "I think your Tonight Show set was amazing." I mean, as soon as he called, I just went, "Well, I'm going to know this guy." I'm about to cry right now. I really am. I mean, that's the nicest thing.
Did he hit you up for dates?
No.
I'm surprised.
you, Gary.
Great
Not
set,
you.
Bobby. You got any
He
dates?
wasn't needy. It wasn't like that. It was just like one comic to another, like, "Hey, dude, I just want to let you know that what you did was great." And I just went, "Wow, this guy's cool." And we've been ever since that phone call. We've been very good friends, and I've always adored him.
So I moved to L.A. maybe like a year later, and I met Bobby. I remember the first night I met him, he was at Dublin's, which used to be this hot show in L.A. on Tuesday nights. And I went there to see him, and I met Ken Jeong there that night as well. And then we all three of us became friends, and it's been a little different since then.
I think that we could still do it. And I'll tell you why.
I've never even thought of
I have.
It. You have?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I don't like losing.
Yeah.
I like winning. Okay, so it's like for me, it's like the timing was off. All right,
the timing, yeah.
And also I've changed. Over the years I've grown up. I don't really do the things I used to do, and I'm pretty trustworthy. I have 14 years sober.
Oh, it's awesome.
In March 6th, you know what I mean. So I'm like I've been in 12-step groups for 14 years. I really work it. So I've grown up, and I feel like if we did it now. I would do it differently. I think that number one, I would split the money evenly, or if they wanted more, I would do that. And two, I would take on my responsibilities. And I think that people would actually come down. In fact, there's every year in San Francisco they do that Asian show with other Asians.
Never been invited.
I know, but I'm just saying maybe we should.
We
could do a rival against them.
Who's that show?
It's Dad Fan, a bunch of other people. But I think that me and you and Ken could just go and do our own one.
But let me ask you, because you've admitted a few minutes ago you're a lazy guy. You're not very right. But is that something that you thinking about would put together, that you would have the motivation to be like, heck yeah, I'm going to put this together and get it moving, or you need somebody else to put it together?
That's a very good question.
Because, obviously you love the way this idea
clever.
Sounds, right?
Yeah.
But you admitted 10 minutes ago that you're not, very I'm wondering.
When I say I'm not motivated, I mean for instance, if I go on the road pretty much every week. So it's like when they say you have to do press, I'm there. I'm not late. I do it. I come home. I don't complain. So in terms of my responsibilities as a business, I conduct it in the best way I can, and just in terms of like, going out and like, hey, you need to go to this party to shake hands. I don't do that.
Right.
Whereas other people will do that. You know what I mean? I don't shake hands. I don't use social, environments to get a job, which is probably my downfall.
Are you more, if you're not working, you'd rather just be at home kind of hanging out and not doing much? Or are you still the social guy? Even when you're not performing, you'll still go to the comedy store? He's always in the gym?
No. I'll give you an example. Like I'm reoccurring on a show called Love, which is Judd Apatow's Netflix show.
Okay.
I did 3 episodes, but then they I'm going to do the second season, and they called, they said, you want to go to the rap party. Now, normally I haven't been to I never go to a rap party. But this year I've been like, you know what, I'm going to show up to things like that, and so I've changed in that way, but it's like I'm not trying to be as lazy as I am, but I'm pretty lazy, what I mean? But when it comes to this Kim's a Comedy thing, I don't think it would be a lot of work, to be honest with you. I think that I would call Molly if we did San Francisco, and I would go, listen, me, Steve, and Ken want to do a one-off show, and then we did it,
I don't know if Ken does stand up anymore.
He can host.
I don't think he does.
Yeah. That'd be the thing, because I know, yes, he's a TV star, Gary. Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm not even saying anything.
Gary, I'm going to say this, that he might not want to do it now.
Right.
But I'm just throwing it out there.
Right. So you're saying, literally a couple seconds ago, Bobby was talking about this big grandiose tour, doing it together. It could really rip open the numbers. And now his plan is, I'll make a call to Molly. Maybe we can get a one-nighter.
Well, here,
well, there's only so many markets we could really.
What I was saying.
I thought this was going to be a big summer tour, and meanwise, Bobby's making one call to Molly.
You got to try one, and then see if it works, and then you make a commitment. I
was like, this guy's going to do a brand new Woodstock tour. He's like, we'll call Molly and then see if we can one night at the bus slide.
By the way, if we went to the Will Turn, though, the Koreans would show up?
Yeah, this time, yes.
You
100%.
So?
Because I have a bigger road presence now. Back then, I never really did the road. You know, I have hit these markets so many times, and I'm beginning to draw really good. You know what I mean? So it's like I feel like on my end, you know what I mean, I could pull it off. I think on your end, for sure, you could pull it off. I think Ken can too. I think that it's a completely different story now.
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
In a year or two, if you want to do it, I'm there.
Yeah.
I have a question. When you went up to San Francisco that night and you weren't welcomed by the other guys,
I was welcoming.
One guy,
by the way.
Did they give you a hotel that night, or did you have to fly back that night?
Oh, I was going to fly after the first show back because I remember them going, they don't want me on the show.
So you didn't. You had to go back because
Steve's the one that flew me out there.
I got him a ticket because I believed in. I'm always a believer in. Look, this is how we started. It's the four of us. This is how we should end it. This is what it should always be. It feels weird going on without all four of us.
Thank you.
That was just my mentality.
Right.
So it meant that much to me that I said, I'll buy you a ticket so you can fly up. If you're willing to come up and maybe eat crow or just say hey in front of the guys, then for me, it's not about the money. It's about getting the group together. That's what I believed in.
What day was that? I would love to know when Steve actually bought you something.
Oh,
I mean, because biggest cheap prick in the business.
Christ.
You strike me as the guy that take out your openers and buy him nice dinners. This guy's so effing cheap.
But he's got a kid,
Fuck you.
right?
Yeah, but I mean,
I am not cheap. Fuck you guys.
It's so
I
cheap.
didn't say it.
He was about to.
Look at his fucking birthday. Fuck you, Gary.
Thanks for the cupcakes.
Of course, full
Gary.
price.
Really nice.
Full price.
What a nice person.
Yeah. We like to take care of our guests.
But
I'm just
throwing
not
that
gonna find
out.
that on Tiger Lily or whatever your show's called.
Belly?
Tiger Belly. That show's not gonna last.
Do you play video games? You play video games, right?
I play NHL and Battlefront right now. That's what I play.
You like Battlefront?
I did when you're first playing it. You're like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah,
I
I'm a
get to
stormtrooper
ride
or whatever.
And then all of a sudden you just realize you're waiting for a pod to land. You got to defend it. And then another pod lands. You got to defend it.
Yeah.
And it just goes on and on and on and on and on. And there's no like finish line. There's no goal line. There's no like I want to be accelerating towards. I want to win. There you're just kind of staving off people.
Fallout 4, my friend.
Yeah. All right.
The best game.
Why don't you
ever.
tell Bobby what I have? I'm a true video gamer. Why don't you tell him what I have at my house?
This slug
Yeah.
bought a Donkey Kong machine.
Full size.
Yeah, and it's in his living room.
Yeah.
And what is your apartment, like 800 square feet?
600.
600 square feet.
So literally this big full-size arcade game takes up half of the space.
There are PlayStations, Xbox you can get at like GameStop and stuff.
Now, this is the original.
How many games are there?
There's a chip on it that plays like 15 other games. Miss Pac-Man, Galaga,
Yeah.
Centipede.
And you play it
Dig
still?
Dug. A little bit. Yeah.
When is
Yeah.
the last time you played it?
I mean, it's been a
Honestly.
long time. I mean, because I'm working on TV shows, corporate gigs, colleges. I'm just running ragged all day. Yeah. I mean, I'm just
You're
one of those
killing it.
guys.
You're
yeah.
killing it. I know.
Yeah, I mean, so much work.
Yeah.
Not enough time. Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
No, you don't. Let me ask. I want to ask Bobby this
Yeah, go
question,
ahead.
right? So,
Hold on.
Yeah.
Because you just brought that up because
Yeah.
of how much you're working and everything.
Yeah.
Bobby, I'd like you to read this review
All right.
on Gary Cannon. This is from a website called Gigmasters.
Yeah.
You ever hear of this?
No.
So Gary did a gig on Gigmasters, and
My very
you know,
first gig on Gigmasters.
whatever.
Yeah.
I'd like you to read
Oh, sure.
This review.
this review. This is Gary Cannon.
That I got
just
in
go ahead.
Gigmasters.
Read the stars out of 5.
All right,
and
so
then read the
reviews.
review.
Overall satisfaction, 1 out of 5. Professionalism, 3 out of 5. Accommodating, 3 out of 5. Overall talent, 1 out of 5. Recommend, 1 out of 5. All right? So was comp to the hotel. So I'm just I'm gonna read it as the guy. So, comp to the hotel, never showed up for any of the activities to meet, access the audience, wanted reimbursed for a tuxedo, which he wasn't wearing, arrived immediately after the schedule to perform. His material was stale, nothing fresh. He was loud and obnoxious without being funny. Even his buttocks jokes. It was a cosmetic.
Botox.
Oh, Botox.
It was a
sorry.
Botox convention.
Sorry. Even his Botox jokes, it was a cosmetic surgery organization, were not funny. And after about 15 minutes, the president of our foundation asked him to leave. He was polite and excited without incident. Wow. When you read something like that, how does that feel?
Well, I got to tell you, the night that I did that show, they told me when I got hired to do this gig, it was at a hotel in Vegas. It was at the Four Seasons. And the woman who hired me said, hey, listen, I just want to let you know, a lot of those people in there are drunk. They're probably not going to pay attention, but just do the best you can with it. So I went in there. The show was not going well. I was supposed to do 30 minutes. They pulled me off after 15. And the woman who hired me couldn't have been any nicer after the show. I'm sorry. We wanted for it to work out. It didn't. We're so sorry. Boom, boom, boom. Don't worry. We'll pay you. Everything will be great. And then, I don't know, 5 hours later, that review goes up online. So
Yeah.
I was just like crushed because I was like, wow, this woman was stroking me off.
Yeah.
So she just wanted me to probably just
She
get
wrote
out.
that?
She wrote that. The
Oh,
woman who
that
said, "Hey, don't worry
bastard.
about it. Everything was great." And then I had to
Two-faced
fight to get
bastard.
them. I had to fight to get the rest of my money because they'd given me a deposit and they still owed me like another $700, and they were fighting with me to pay it. And I said, "Listen, I need my money." And it took a while, but I finally got it.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was wearing the tuxedo. They were saying that I was not, but I was wearing the. I bought it at the Men's Warehouse. Or
I
rented it at the Men's Warehouse.
never read reviews.
You don't?
No. I don't read comments, reviews, because it's like, it's unhealthy.
Yeah.
Do you, Steve?
Yeah,
Why?
all of them. I
did a whole
believe
show devoted to
sometimes,
that.
yeah, there's I believe sometimes there is constructive criticism.
There isn't.
in a review, but for the most part, it's just people that are upset with
Your
their
unfunny
life, and they
chink,
just-
which is what I've gotten, is not constructive.
that was me.
K Jeong 44. User K Jeong 44.
Well, do you want to give him the prize this week?
Yeah.
we didn't do it last show.
By the way, let me ask. I want to ask
Yeah,
Bobby something.
yeah.
Obviously, you've done so much TV. You're still doing a ton of stand up, this, that, and the other thing. What's your ultimate? Like, what do you want to be doing in 5 years? Like,
that's a very good
What's your
question.
thing? What do you want to be doing?
I don't have that that kind of goal anymore. I mean, because if you set those kind of goals, in my opinion, you get hurt.
Right.
So for me, it's like, as long as every year I'm doing something a little different, I'm happy. You know, because I realize that I'm happy with my career. For many years, I wasn't. I was like, how come I'm not in this movie? How come this TV show didn't get picked up? But now I'm like, you know what? I'm so glad that I didn't blow up, because I'm still getting opportunities as
Right.
if I'm new. You know, like, I'll go to an audition and I'll go, wow, that was really good. Who is this guy?
Right.
And it's like, I didn't make, a bad, I don't have a bad reputation, you know what I mean, in America or in the world, right? I'm still people are still discovering me, and that's pretty exciting, you know? I'm still getting invited to do really cool shit, and Guy Torrey told me that.
Yeah.
Is as long as every year you're doing something different, and so this year I played, Guam. That was really fun.
Oh, wow.
I did a couple years ago. I was in South Africa for 2 months. I did a bunch of shows there, and you're sitting there, in South Africa, like, walking around with giraffes and stuff, and you're going, wow, this is really weird and cool, and
Right.
and that's life, because I know so many guys. I'm not going to name names that blew up huge, and that fall down, right? They burn every bridge when they come down,
Yeah.
and there's just no way up. And I'd rather be in my situation than that situation.
Rather than be in Dane's situation.
Jesus, Bob.
Oh, Jesus.
You know what I'm talking about.
No.
Dane Elliott.
Dane. Oh, Dane Elliott. Yeah.
He works at the floral shop over on Western.
Damn, dude.
Damn.
Jesus Christ, man.
Starting wars.
Holy
want to start a war.
shit, Gary.
But you're right. I mean,
Damn, dude.
I love him.
Yeah,
I love Dane.
I do too.
Yeah.
Big fan.
But I'm a big fan. But
On our show.
yes.
No.
Oh.
Not now.
Yeah. Remember that fight you guys got in?
We didn't get
Oh,
into
yeah.
a fight.
Well, you went to his house and you screamed at him on his lawn,
No, this is all
like at 1 a.m.
He had a
it's
lawn.
all old
Well,
news.
I know it's
Not
old.
1 a.m.
You got. I know. Look at you. Listen
Oh,
to
you
me.
wanted to bring up his Cheech and Chong story from '83.
I-
You can share this story.
I've talked about it though.
Yeah.
I've talked about it. On Maron's podcast.
Yeah, all
and,
that stuff is healthy. I really do believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when comics, may have conflict and they work it out in that way is, I think, very healthy.
Well, I'll say this: when it happened. We were a lot younger then. I don't know the reasonings why somebody would say or do or whatever, but the fact of the matter is that I saw Dane, 3 or 4 years ago, and I asked him, hey, could we just walk around the bend and just chat for a minute? And he immediately apologized. And once he did that, it was just like everything, any even slight resentment I had was gone. And I've seen him out a bunch of times, and we're super cool with each other.
Yeah. I
I
love
played
him.
hockey with him, once or twice.
It is amazing too as you get older how all that little petty bullshit kind of goes away and everybody kind of like puts their ego aside. People become a little more humble. You know what I mean? Even
Well, I think it's also knowing your place in the world. I think when you're younger, you really don't know. It's like, where do I fit in? Who am I? What, and there's just so much going on, and just like you don't have a comfortability in your own security, even in your living situation, in your in your career, and I think as time goes on, it's like you slowly start to chisel the fat, and you discover, okay, I'm a little more comfortable with myself. I know my place in the world, and I don't think you have that.
Another thing is this, that you think as a young comic that if you attain certain goals or these things that it'll fix you.
Sure.
Right? So you go, if I just get into a movie or if I just get on a TV show, and what you realize is that it doesn't.
Right.
Right? It's like a drug, really, right? It fades away and you want more and it's unhealthy. There's no job in the world, there's not an amount of money in the world that's going to fix me.
Yeah, but it's funny because, like you were saying, you're in Guam and all these giraffes are walking around. It's like, you look at so many people that are doing like a regular office job, a day job, a desk job that will never experience that. And, we get to do something different all the time. You know what I mean? It's like, it's never.
But I want to defend comics in the sense that, like, if you take big risks in life, you get big things, right? It's like, I know a lot of guys that go, hey, you should feel blessed and, you're lucky. And I go, I feel lucky, but I walked through a lot of fear. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I did a lot of pressure situations. Like when you're at the Tonight Show, that's not fun, especially in the year 2000.
Yeah.
I was young. I was scared, but I did it, And it's like, I did that. It's like, I'm not saying that I'm different than any other human being. I'm just saying that, if you're listening, you got to take big risks.
Yeah.
Live in the moment, right? That all we have is the moment, but you got to go out and live life. And if you want to do something, you got to do it. And I think that if everyone lived, unless you're ISIS, don't do that, whatever you're doing. But ISIS, stop doing that. But like other than ISIS, you know what I mean? Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I truly love you. I love you. I honestly, I swear to God, I
really do love you.
Bobby Lee. He's not only great dude, great comic, but when you're at the Comedy Store, literally the best intros. You always give such a great intro. I always give you the shittiest intros, but you always give me a great intro.
Yeah, why don't you give me a good intro?
I started to recently.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You know why I give good intros?
Why?
I hate bad intros. You know who gives bad intros? Who used to?
Who?
Mark Maron.
Yeah.
But now because he knows how I feel about it.
Yeah.
He doesn't do it anymore. I mean, there are comics that do it, and I just let them know. I go, listen, when you call me a dancing monkey.
Oh my God, what?
Yeah.
Who said that?
I mean, this guy has high energy, and he's a dancing monkey.
Oh, that's fucked up.
And then they bring you up. It's like, thanks for no fucking pitch. I can't hit this ball.
When
right?
I've given you bad intros, it's people can tell we're friends and I'm fucking around.
Yeah, and we banter on stage. That's fine. I love that, right? But when somebody doesn't,
when they're condescending towards you and your act in general.
Yeah, and then and they also negate the things you've done. It's like, hey, dude, I've done way more than you. It's
when
like,
you say all these things, can you just look at Gary?
Yeah.
Gary, we're pretty much talking to you, dude.
Gary, you don't give good intros.
I do give good intros. Oh, no.
The shit he says about me is
that's
awful.
what I heard even.
Sometimes I'll give you a shitty one, but I do mix it up when I know you're mad.
Oh, God.
How dare you? I will.
We're in Sacramento the whole weekend. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, you picked a great weekend to cash in your Groupons. This next guy from nothing. And it's just like, I'm the headline. Dude, do that backstage.
Do you get angry?
I don't get angry. It's just like, it's fine. But I'm like, I'll go up. I'll do my stuff. But it's like, it's like, dude.
No,
but listen.
Gary,
listen.
No.
I'm the king of hosting.
No, I heard about that.
Yes.
Yeah, so let me ask you something, right?
Yes.
But that's not right. but you do it out of love. You do it out of love.
Oh yeah. We have a great rapport.
We have a great relationship.
He's only done that on a handful of occasions.
Okay.
But like even taping Sullivan's Son, it's much like when I bring you up. He just. Ladies and gentlemen, this next guy graduated from the Rob Schneider Academy of Dramatic Arts, Steve Byrne. It's like, that's the stuff.
But it's also funny, too, because I was talking to Fraser Smith about this last night. It's funny because no matter how much I would shit on you, whether it was the intro or at Sullivan and Son, the minute you would try to zing me back, the audience would boo Steve because I just had him on my side. And then when you would try to zing me back, they would boo you, and you'd be like, "What the? Why are you yelling at me now?" I mean, it was absolutely crazy just to kind of see that whole dynamic. But I will definitely build it up because I think it's important.
It is.
I really do.
And I just want to say thank you for having me on Sullivan and Sons. It was a really fun
There we go.
story arc.
We'll have to talk that off the air.
Story arc, and I really appreciate it.
Off
it's really,
the air.
It's really nice.
Love you.
Bobby,
off the air.
Bobby, but whoa, we're not done yet.
What?
God, what?
We have a giveaway and we have a sponsor.
Yeah.
Cut that shit.
Cut it off.
Go ahead, do the what's the giveaway?
Okay. By the way, we're doing a cool giveaway. We're both friends with Ellen DeGeneres here. And actually what we're
you guys
doing...
go shopping together.
We go shopping together. We buy clothes together.
I love him.
We are giving a guest, a listener, and a guest a chance to come out to L.A. And go to an Ellen 12 Days of Christmas show. So we're not even giving away the prizes. We're giving them
the tickets
the opportunity,
to get the prize.
the tickets, yes. So we will fly you out, and then everything else is on you. But you'll get to go to the 12 Days of Christmas show through Ellen, and we'll take caller 8, phrase that pays.
Give us the phrase that pays.
A couple of tickets to the Ellen 12 Days of Christmas show, which is coming up. So that's very exciting.
Great.
And by the way, Steve, we have a sponsor today.
We do. We actually have a sponsor. Which
This is
cool.
great. We're so excited about this. Today's sponsor is Audible.com, which is awesome. They have more than 180,000 audiobooks and spoken word audio products, and we are actually giving a 30-day trial subscription to our listeners if they go to audible.com/dojo, just so you know. Are you a big audiobooks guy?
I've listened to them on occasion on road trips, so I'll definitely do it.
They definitely are the best. What I wanted our listeners to know...
I love self-help books and stuff.
They're the greatest, right? That these Audible books have chapter navigation, sleep mode. There's a 30-second rewind. There's a button-free mode. It's really, really cool. So all you have to do is go to audible.com and /dojo. Like I said, Audible's offering a free 30-day trial membership. Just go to audible.com /dojo for your pick of over 180,000 audio programs. Download a title free and start listening. It's that easy, and enjoy it.
Anytime I take a long road trip, especially during the holidays or something, I always load up on something. I remember one year when my wife and I were driving here from Chicago, we listened to the Kite Runner.
Oh.
And we were crying in Colorado.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, it's so depressing.
Can I borrow $10? I'm being real.
God, I love you.
No, I need to borrow $10 though.
Yeah, here.
But really,
I'm being real.
Okay. It's what's great. I mean, because there's books about broadcasters, entertainers, magazine and newspaper publishers,
I'll pay it back.
business information providers. It's actually really, really cool. Unlike a streaming or a rental service, Audible, you own the book, which is great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so check it out.
Audible.com /dojo. Check it out. Thank you to our guest, Bobby
Lee. So funny. So funny.
You can listen to his podcast on All Things Comedy as well, called Tiger Belly. He is literally one of my favorite human beings. We thank you guys for listening. At Canon Comedy, at Steve Byrne Live. Keep up with us. Keep the reviews coming in. Champion is on Netflix. And don't forget, Saturday, February 6th, Chicago, filming my 4th hour special, 7 and 10 o'clock at Lincoln Hall. Go to lh-st.com for tickets. Thank you guys so much. Pittsburgh, New Year's Eve. Adios.